Hey everyone, let's talk rushing through projects, particularly the last stage. So, I just finished last night. I finished Love Conquers All, the fifth book that I'm about to publish this year. And one thing I learned from that is that no matter how many times you might have gone through a draft, if you're ready to ready to purchase the proof copy, it doesn't hurt to go through it one more time. If you're trying to, particularly if you're trying to learn the skill set of editing, because I did run the book through an editor, but the problem was I did that way too early. I'm actually glad that I did that early, because I've learned quite a bit about editing, about myself, about writing, and I've purchased 4, perhaps 5 proof copies of the book, but I didn't mind at all. This is the one book that I delayed the most, because I just thought that I'd rather have it done as best as possible one time rather than pull it, because I had to do that with one of the books, because what happened was Lulu has a glitch where if you sometimes you upload a file and everything's centered, and all of a sudden it adjusts to the left, and a couple of the things adjusted, and it drove me nuts. So I had to go pull it down and fix it. Anyways, the whole point's that if you're really trying to learn writing, it doesn't hurt to edit your own book. At least if you're a poet, if you're a sci-fi writer, or any writer that does more, and it's just, the job's just so much more strenuous, then it makes sense, because to read, this book is what, 20,000 words, and it's a poetry book. Yeah, as far as poetry books are concerned, that's long. But when it comes to sci-fi, or sci-fi, that goes to show one of my default likes. When it goes to show any fiction books or non-fiction books, it gets to what, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 words, depending on what you're doing. The point is that at that point, it doesn't hurt, having an editor, because that's a lot of time to invest in just going through another book one more time. But I guess it just depends on the goals that you want. I do plan on using an editor probably in most books, at least most major ones. There's some poetry books that are smaller, smaller scale, that I plan on doing, that don't have annotations. That's fine. It's just poetry, and that's it. But this one is just so notation heavy. The introduction's really long, and so on. So I didn't mind going through it a few times, although it wasn't on purpose at first. Now I'm going to choose to employ that approach from now on, because I realized that if I don't check the book another time or two before ordering the proof copy, I stand to order multiple proof copies and lengthen the process even more. It also depends on whether or not you have alpha or beta readers. If you do, great. If you don't, that's fine. I guess it depends on what you're comfortable with, who you trust, and all that jazz. But the whole point's that don't overlook what you can learn and the time you can save. And I'm trying to think of anything else. Don't overlook what you can learn, the time you can save, and the skill set that you can implement into your repertoire by going through the book, whatever book it is you're working on, one more time. It doesn't hurt to just take another look, or at least maybe it's just a certain portion or two. That's fine. Whatever works for you. I'm just trying to get people to learn from my mistakes. That's basically a huge anchor and one of the main points of this channel. I'm learning on the job, not unlike most things that I've done in my life, whether it's job, business, poker, you name it. I don't mind the approach. You get to a point in life where you start realizing that you can jump into the deep end and face your fears, or just not face your fears. And face your fears, it could be anything from something major to something small. It could be publish your own book, it could be just writing an article, or doing your first type of specific review or anything like that, a video, you name it. There's so much. But the whole point's that I got comfortable. I just told this to my friend to one of my friends, John. His actual name's really John. I just saw him just an hour ago, He wanted to talk business. But anyways, I told him that by a lot of the choices that I've been making the last few years, I've gotten comfortable in being in uncomfortable situations. Some of it's my design because I planned on it. Some of it's not because of me, but it happened anyways. The whole point's that the more you jump into, you know, the deep end, the more you face your fears, the more you just consistently swim with sharks. And that's a metaphor for poker. It's like, you know, at a certain point, you're going to get to, when you're a player and you're moving up the ranks from low limit to mid limit, high limits, you know, just heaven forbid the nosebleeds if you guys are that lucky. But when you move up, you're going to have to learn how to handle tougher and tougher situations, you know, jobs, people, you name it, you know. And yeah, I'm using poker as a metaphor, but it's the same in life, you know. Like, you move up in a company, hopefully you're trying to move up, or you have a place where the latitude to move up is there, or at least you're happy where you're at, because you don't always have to move up. Some people are totally happy where they are, and I don't blame them. You know, sometimes moving up comes with a lot of responsibility that's not worth it. So, you know, I'm talking about ideal scenarios where you benefit, you know, and however you see fit. But the whole point's that, you know, I got comfortable in doing things that I never thought I'd do, you know, facing fears I never thought I would face, you know, taking approaches that I never thought I'd take, you know, just, you name it. I could go on and on, but the whole point's that I got used to it, and now I found comfort in that, and there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll make another video, but you guys take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.